You may have to export your finished movie out to several different formats / codecs. Your client may want a YouTube version. They may want a website version. They might want a DVD. I mean, there are different options and different requests that you'll probably come across in your career of editing. So within Adobe Premiere Pro, of course, when your movie is done, you've edited your movie and you're ready to deliver it, then of course you want to export. Now, in the previous lesson of exporting, I spoke about how to export to a single codec / formula. And in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to export out to different codecs or different formulas that I'll call batch processing. So of course you want to click on the sequence that you want to export out. And I also mentioned in the previous lesson that you may want to watch your movie after you've rendered it so you can catch any mistakes before you go through the exporting process. But once you've done that, or once you're ready to export, then you navigate up to the word file here and mouse click on that and then navigate down to export media. Now again, this is going to be the batch processing capabilities in this lesson. If you want to go through all the steps that I showed, or at least that I spoke about all these items in, then you're going to have to go back and watch the previous lesson because I'm going to go through these really quick. In order to batch process, you do need to at least go through these quickly and select what you want, at least for to get down into this queue option, which I'll speak about in just a moment. But basically, you want to go through your format. You want to click on this to not only select and change the location, but give your export a name. And then you would click on the video tab and go through this option here and select whatever item you'd like in there. And those are all codecs that I talk about. And I don't talk about all of them, but I do talk about these options and the audio options, these two tabs in the previous lesson, which I won't go through in this lesson because once you've gone through all these items and you select Q, not export, you select Q, that will bring you into Media Encoder. And you'll notice this first line here is basically your sequence from Premiere with whatever was selected in the previous export window. Okay, so you've got to make sure you go through all that to at least get one of these items within your batch processing list here. And this represents your project. There it is, project 1. This represents your sequence actually. Okay, with that said, if you look over to the right, there are so many options here. I'm going to close these items. There are so many options here. You've got audio only, you have broadcast, DNX HD, which is Avid. You've got GoPro Cineform, which is a great codec, H.264, which is probably the most requested video or codecs for videos that want to be placed into a website, MPEG-2, AVC Intra. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. So what I want to show you quickly is one of my most common requests that I get, and I'm not sure if this is going to be your common request, but a lot of my clients say, hey, can you put it up on YouTube so we can review the footage? And several people from all over the country or all over the world can watch it. Absolutely, because it's free and it doesn't generally stay up there too long, and I don't need to put a security code on it or lock it down. Generally, the client doesn't mind. So when you want to use any one of these, I'll start with web video here. When I click on this triangle, it reveals there's YouTube, Vimeo and YouTube. And if you want to add, let's say, one of these presets, like I just selected that to highlight it and make sure it's exactly what I want, H.264, 1920 by 1080, then I would click over here to the right of this preset that came from the previous export window. And then with the item selected over here on the right, then I would navigate up to the Apply Preset. When I click on that, this YouTube preset will end up in my list. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now I can go over here and let's go to DVD. I can click on this. I can go to, let's say, DV NTSC Progressive or wide. So I would click on that. Now don't let this DV confuse you. This is really going to be an MPEG-2. Remember, it's standard definition, 720 by 480. So this will work. I'll mouse click on the item that I want the preset to go to, and then I'll select Apply Preset. And as you can see, I'm creating my batch list. Then I can go over here to H.264, which the client may want for their website. And I can select any one of these guys here. I can go with H.264 1080p 25. Of course, my project's not 25 frames per second. It's 2997. And this would work great. Now, I may not want to use this large of a resolution. I could. And I'm starting to deliver more 1920 by 1080 on the internet anyway. So yeah, this will definitely work. Although I would suggest maybe hovering around, let's see, well, oh, here we go, 1280 by 720 HD 720p right here. This seems to be a little bit easier on YouTube, and I would select that and then go over here, click on that. I could click on any one of these presets actually, and then select this preset and then hit apply preset, and then my list just goes on and on and on. Now I can make this as long as I want, and I can make or select as many items over here as I want. If I need to get into any one of these, so let's say I wanted to get into this preset here. Well, you may want to do this for several reasons. You may want to change the name. You may want to make sure that the location is going to the same location that you want it to go to. And if you haven't already noticed, the output file will, if you read this, Encoder is smart enough to realize that it's going to send these items to the same location as the first item that you created in the export option from Premiere. So that's a good thing. But you can go into, let's go into MPEG-2. So I could click on this right here. This will get me into my settings for this particular codec. And I can then go down here and make sure that I can adjust quality. I can adjust all kinds of things here, 2997, widescreen, VBR, CBR. I mean, all the options are here. I did talk about DVD capabilities, or what you should do if you do a DVD. Quickly though, once I do a DVD with this preset, I'll go up to this item here and I'll select scale to fill so these black lines go away. That's definitely something you want to do. But then I can go through all these items and then select OK. Now before I do that though, you do want to possibly at least change the name here. So click on this guy right here, output name, and then you can type in the name of this, whatever you want to call it. You can select a location and then select save, and then select OK down here. You may want to do that for all of these just to make sure you're comfortable with what's going on. But again, once that happens, then you can select this play button. Boom, hit that. And I have 4 items. They're all going to encode at the same time. Isn't that great? And I get this list. It's just going to happen on its own. I can go take a break and come back and it'll be done. So that is an awesome thing. I mean, this batch processing is really cool. Now let me show you something real quick. I'm going to hit stop and then I'll select no. And what that means is I basically canceled it. And you'll see here the status, which is stopped, stopped, stopped. If you ever want to restart any one of these items, then you can right click or control click if you're on a Mac and select reset status. And when you do that, then you can start this from the word go. Again, you can restart the process. I'm going to do that to all of these. And you can re-batch process all these items in here. Now, if you have one item selected and you push play, then just that, oh no, actually all 3, oh, there they go. Well, all the items will be processed. So even if you have one item selected and you push that encode, then these will all be processed. So lots of good stuff in this lesson. That's a great way to go when you want to get different formulas, or not formulas, I should say different codecs exported out from your finished movie from Premiere Pro.